Real quick video, Israel. You know, I'm sure y'all heard about Sano breakdown on the dollar bill. We visit it every now and then. And getting right into it, giving all praises to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostle, elder bishops, great millstone. Much salutation to the brothers teaching word for the hopeful elect, soon to be the elect, most high will. To the hopeful extended elect, shalom, blessings, men, women, and children. You see it says Annuit Septis at the top. This is the top of the dollar bill. You know, and you see that eye in the middle, that illuminated eye, which represents the enterprise, pretty much, the Illuminati. And it's not on the dollar, it's not on the pyramid yet, because they haven't really completed it. The way that they're going to try to complete it is with that MOTB and digital currency. So, you know, that word annuit, those words annuit, called septus, I might not be saying that right, but it says it's a it's a Latin phrase that translates to he or God, providence favors our undertakings. He has proposed our endeavors. A smile upon favor. Coeptus is ventures, beginnings, undertakings. And it does say on the dollar bill, in God we trust, which is Satan. They worship Satan, and it tells you, one, they want to make Egypt, and really they want to control, just like back in days of Antiochus, just like Alexander the Greek, when they get into these king-like positions, emperors, and so they try to bring those, two. They try to, create a new world order, but they'll try to take two of the mainlands and bring them together. I mean, Alexander the Greek, he founded Alexandria, which is Alexandria, Greek, Egypt. But, you can read more into history in that. Novus Ordo Seclorum means, novus means new, order means order, like new order of Seclorum mean ages, new world of the ages, like the new world order. I forget, apostles broke it down. I forget, right? I had to go into the files, but that the Latin, and you see it's written in Latin in the at the very bottom brick layer of the pyramid. And then you got, the eagle with I think it's 12 stars, and it's shaped like they call it the Star of David. They once had called it Star of David. We usually use it called the Shield of David. And then, the feathers on one side, and arrows on one side. That's all significant too. It says the Great Seal. What did it say? The Great Seal. But it's all planned and organized, and they got Jake following this stuff. Now, it's a little trick too with the $20 bill as well as the $5. Somebody told me this, but it's an old trick. It's not really a trick, but it's a way you could do that. As you see, the $20 bill is shaped in the shape of an airplane, so to speak, and it has the Twin Towers on there that look like the Twin Towers, and it has the trees around it looks like the smoke. And it was 9/11, so that equals 20. But 9/11, we all know it's an inside job. But you basically flip this like this the long way. Something you can entertain somebody with sometime. Entertain it long way, and all you gotta do is fold it. Simple, fold it in the middle. Fold it up in the middle, and there you go. Same thing with the $5 bill, which is, I think, a representation of the pyramid. The Pentagon. That's what 5 is, from that word pent, a penta, whatever, which is 50, but it's the Pentagon, which have 5 angular points, something like that. But you could do the same thing with that, because I think they hit the Pentagon too, right after they hit the federal building. But you could do this same way with this. Fold it the long way and fold it up, and you got the same like Twin Towers hit in the smoke. So just something that something small you can show people. But moving back up, it's very simple. And Most High said, the love of money is the root to all evil. A lot of people, when they mention this scripture, they say that money is the root of all evil. No, the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. 1 Timothy 6:10. And guess what? Money is, another word for money is resources, or merchandise, whatever you could use, to benefit. See right here, it says money.
Strong's G 5365. Phalagoria.
Phalagoria. Phalagoria. Love of money, avarice. But we all know what money is. And if you don't have no money, they say, well, somebody try to rob you, you don't got no money. Well, give me them shoes. Well, give me that, hat you're wearing. Give me that bracelet, that necklace. So it's not always like in this form of this bill. And also, that's what it is, a dollar bill. It's a bill. It's a legal tender. It's a Federal Reserve note. It says right here on the left, the note is, this note is a legal tender for all debts, public and private. So, just want to make a point too. This is not money is no longer backed by silver and gold. Remember, we used to have coins, and there was the dollar bill, the greenbacks they used to call them, or the green dollar bill was in. Now and then they have, later on they had food stamps and everything, but it's kind of like a note, a debt note that to pay back somebody if you don't have actual gold and silver. Well, what else you got? If you don't got, well, I could print you up some of this, and just like when you go to a club or you go to a certain venue, they have where they give you that kind of money, so to speak, like a video, for instance, an arcade gallery or room. They give you coins for only the arcades. You know, you can't buy a burger with it. You can't, go out there and spend it with anything else but those arcades. So if that arcade closed down, you just lose your money. It ain't like you could transfer it into some more money or whatever. Now people like later on, years later, they might be like, oh, I haven't seen one of those in a long time, those coins. Man, I'll buy one from you because, they have a sense of nostalgia, or, something that's outdated. It comes back as that could come back as a souvenir or a certain value because it's considered, ancient or classic or whatever the case may be, like cars. But in any case, the currency is what you use currently. Oh, they're gonna go digital, and you're gonna have to use that currently. What else I was gonna say? And then they got other symbolics. Somebody mentioned the owl that they have in the corner of the dollar bill. It'll pop up probably on Pinterest. Illuminati dollar bill owl. It's in the corner of your it's so small you gotta get a magnifying glass probably to. And they do worship the owl. I think they do it in Bohemian Grove in Northern California and probably some other places around other states. But that's the owl right there. Two owls basically. Well, no, they just did a close up. But yeah, that's supposed to be the owl. And people say, nah, that's a conspiracy. And I heard other things like on the $20 bill, they got slaves hanging, subliminally. At the top of the $20 bill, where the building is, and but you gotta be real, they say it's somewhere right here hanging. It might be true. I wouldn't doubt it. And other symbolics like the Wells Fargo logo, it's a display of slavery. Right here. There's another one they say. And anything could pop up because people know the truth now, so they posting all kind of different things about the truth that nobody even would look into or even know. Like when I was young, I thought, you when you're a real kid, a young kid, a real young kid, you're chasing the ice cream truck and all that, and you just want to, like I said, go to the arcade gallery. You just want that money for that. You don't think about what's on the money and that it means something, You just need that money to buy what you want to buy, Especially as a kid, you just want to have fun, and if that can get you, if candy and arcade games and food can get you what you want, you say, well, I need more of that money. But then you start growing up and you start paying bills and you start paying taxes and all that, and you start paying all these. You understand that in the scripture it said we're subject to payments, and then you see that it's unfair, in a lot of ways, and nothing adds up, and it's called currency for a reason. You put it back into the hands of society, the American system, the rulers, and that's the same thing with business. Jake don't really own anything here. And it's a lot of scriptures on that. Rich men, how, but your riches are cankered. Money ain't gonna be about ish in a minute. And it means overall too about this new world order that they building. Says Job 5:12, he will Most High disappoint his enterprise. Then it says we're gonna be redeemed without money, meaning Israel. And really it starts with the elect, but it's all Israel too, because Israel can't buy themselves out of this slavery, out of this hell that's coming, out of Jacob's trouble, but by the Most High. If it wasn't for the Most High, Yahweh Shai, we'll go into slavery again. It says Isaiah 52:3, for thus saith the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. And I know some people will be like, well, isn't your Lord the one that put you in slavery? Well, no, he said he'll send his enemies against us. It's like almost like a belt on your ass as a child, and it hangs up in the closet. Now it could become like you look up in the closet and you be like, damn, I don't like to see that belt. You might try to hide the belt, so your father and mother won't be able to use it, but he'll go buy another belt, of course. But if you start doing right and you start to grow up, you don't fear belts. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just the fact that, that was a tool being used to put you in order. But, on the opposite side, in the ill way, that kind of speaks about Jacob too. So-called white man just whipped him so much, took his spirit, beat him down so much that he just wanted to do right with the so-called white man. And we do have to follow, the rules of this land, of course, but not to a point of injustice where it has you to sell your soul. And that's what they're going to try to do with the MOTB. Because this is not a proposal for the so-called black man to live better, this money or religion. Religion, you don't have to be religious in this country. You don't have to go to church. They have no problem with that. You could be a dope head, a crack, whatever. You could be, you could do whatever. You could sleep with beasts, marry beasts. But when it comes to the MOTB, that's when they say, well, you gotta have this. So it definitely is a direct opposition to your soul, direct opposition to the value of your soul, which is not supposed to be sold. If your soul is sold, and that's kind of metaphoric, then you don't have no more purpose to live. You don't have no worth no more in this place. People become suicidal when they feel that way. But only the Most High, and I meant like that too, because only the Most High could do. It says, don't fear him that's able to kill the body, but fear him able to kill the body and soul into hell. So, that's why I say it's more metaphoric, because you really can't sell your soul. Most High has your soul intact. But your offering of you presently living in the representation of what your soul does is a big thing, and it comes with sacrifices, or it comes with a sacrifice, Even Yahweh Shai had to be a sacrifice. So you have to sacrifice yourself some kind of way. And, a lot of it, the smaller sacrifices is time, which is, it could be big for people, doing things. But, when it comes to this kind of opposition where, you're putting, your life is on the line and your soul to that magnitude of where you completely no value anymore, like you don't exist, you might as well not exist, That's a problem. So, you know, you might have dollars, but you got to have some sense too. And I mean logical sense, you know? But anyway, hope it's edifying to the next video. Shalom.